they tried it that time.
So Max made a point that Toney's almost from another era when they fought real long fights and he could just kind of dig in there with that style. Max had that list last week of the guys who moved up in weight, his top 5. And he had Vinny Pazienza and Oscar De La Hoya and there, Roy Jones, Vander Holyfield. He left out Roberto Duran.
Yes, I think he made a mistake.
I don't know how he had Pazienza ahead of Roberto Duran as far as moving up in weight.
I think he made a little bit of a mistake there. Just a little.
Showing his age. End of round 6, all James Toney controlling this fight.
You've heard him squeak. Now, hear him sing. You'll get all his hits. Songs like, You Don't Understand a Word I Say. I Haven't Bathed in a Week. And his duet with Louis, Salamander Serenade.
Oh, Salamander, I serenade you. I often think of you when I am feeling weak.
When did you do that?
I was young, okay? Okay, we make mistakes.
Natural, real. I want to look the way I feel. I'm a Grecian man.
Grecian
One quick, hassle-free, a look that really looks like me. Grecian man. A Grecian man, no time for gray. A new generation, a whole new day.
Grecian
We're at the Roseland Ballroom in Taunton, Massachusetts, about an hour or so south of Boston. Friday Night Fights on ESPN2. James Toney, Ramon Garbey underway, round number 7 in the scheduled 10-rounder. No knockdown so far in the fight. Neither man has been hurt, but James Toney has just been better than Ramon Garbey in this fight. Through 6 rounds, Garbey has landed only 13. 195 jabs. Toney has landed 50 of 185. It's a slow round 6 for Toney. Landed only 20 of 73 punches. Garbey landed just 4 of 58. In the corner of James Toney, one of the better trainers in the game, Freddie Roach. And Freddie, it seems that James can do whatever he wants against Garbey.
Yeah, he can, but I think he makes the fight a lot easier if he gets his jab going and backs this guy up. Garbey's kind of strong on the inside, and he doesn't fight too well moving back.
Freddie, would you like to have seen James maybe sustain a little bit more of a body attack earlier on Garbey?
Yeah, I would, because I told him earlier that he needs to work that body and break this guy down. He's got a pretty good chin. But I think if James worked the body a little bit more, he'd get this guy out of there in the later rounds.
Freddie, do you worry that James having such control, especially early on, that he might get a little bit lackadaisical, a little careless with Garbey?
Yeah, I think so. He's getting a little lackadaisical out there. I think he's got to get his focus back on and get to work in there. This Garbey's a tough guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great amateur. He can punch. He knows how to fight. Guy that you can't all of a sudden get a little lax on.
No, with him, he's liable to catch you if you get too relaxed in there with him.
Sometimes that's a problem when you get ahead easy early on.
This is true. That's why I'm going to pump James up next round and tell him he's got to step it up a little bit and win these rounds a little bit more convincingly.
All right, Freddie, thanks a lot. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Freddie Roach. I got some concerns. I mean, it has been so easy for Toney through the first 6 rounds.
Sometimes, you know, sometimes that can hurt you in any kind of contest. See it many times. A football team gets ahead early, and all of a sudden, psychologically, they don't even mean it. But they let up a little bit, the other team comes on. It's hard to all of a sudden change those gears. Sometimes it hurts you when you get ahead early. I've seen guys drop guys early, and all of a sudden they try to throw that punch again. They get away from the rest of their fight plan, fighting a consistent, steady fight. Next thing you know, they're behind in the fight.
Reggie Green last week against Mickey Ward. One of the better fights that we've seen this year. He had had Ward down, didn't press the action in round 4, let Ward get his legs back, and Mickey knocked him out in a thrilling round 10. Toney and Garbey plod along at the end of round 7. 3 more to go.
We talked about the psychological edge before. Well, watch this. a little bit of extra fighting at the end of the bout. Both guys go after each other a little bit. Garbey goes after Toney. Toney goes right back after him. But who puts their glove out to make peace? Garbey. Who's winning the fight? Toney.
Second time that's happened, Kenny.
Yes. Don't think that doesn't mean something. The tape on the left glove of Garbey is loose again. I think it's probably going to cause a stoppage at some point in this round for the referee to take him to his corner and get that tape cut off, because that tape can go into a fighter's eye.
Double left hook by Toney. Right hand over the top, counter right by Toney. Take a look at the numbers in round 7. Toney again outlanding Garbey. Toney has had 4 rounds where he's landed 30 or more punches. Actually 36 or more punches.
You know, I still think Freddie Roach is right, though. He's a good trainer, he's a good cornerman, good teacher. I think he's right. Tony's the quicker guy. Both guys are very similar, but Tony's the quicker guy. He's got the faster hands, he used to be middleweight champ, still has the speed advantage. I think he can separate himself more, Bob, on the outside than Garbey can. Garbey will be at more of a disadvantage on the outside because of the difference in speed. On the inside, even though Tony's getting the better of it, Garbey is able to get away with certain things, smother certain things, push his weight around a little bit. He wouldn't be able to do those things on the outside.
But isn't the object for Toney to just win? Isn't he like past the point of having to knock people out, be ultra impressive? Everyone knows what he is and who he is and how he fights. He doesn't need to change anyone's opinion, does he?
I disagree a little bit. Tony's been a guy who has not been in the center of people's attention. He's not been in the eye, so to speak, of boxing. And he's a guy who has to be impressive in there, even though he's been a terrific fighter, almost a great fighter. I mean, he was once thought of as the best pound-for-pound fighter around. But now he's not on anybody's top dance card. He needs to be a little excited. We know that he can fight. We already know that he can slip punches and he can fight. He needs to have exciting performances if he wants to force some of those big fights.
Yeah, I guess he's highly thought of by the boxing aficionado, but in order to get big fights and big paydays, you got to get other people turned on. And really, you're right, a lot of times when people who aren't really big boxing fans hear that James Toney's fighting, the first thing is, oh, he's still fighting?
And by fighting inside right now, he's allowing Garbey sometimes maybe to have moments where he's able to steal certain spots, like right now. He's allowing Garbey to move his hand, even if they're not all landing. He's allowed to maybe steal spots to the judges a little bit. Have little moments. On the outside, I don't think Garbey would have those moments on the outside. You can see the difference when they're outside. Toney separates himself.
Well, they'll have to fix the tape on that glove of Garbey, and he caught Toney coming in.
It's a story about...
Now part of the Go Network, go.com. Kenny, we'll take a look at the end of the round.
A lot of action at the end here, and Garbey had some of his better moments there. Toney off balance there. Made people think some things were landed that weren't really landed, but they went at it after the bell a little bit again. But some of the better work for Garbey was at the end of the round.
Still got outlanded by 17 punches in the round, but you could make the case that Garbey landed the better shots in that round. Good left hand by Garbey as Toney was leaning in.
And the referee did a good job. Little subtle things, just like these fighters do little subtle things. He followed Garbey back to his corner and made the corner put tape over that loose piece of tape on the left glove. This way he wouldn't have to interrupt the action during the round.
Punch numbers through round 8. You see that Toney has landed 283 punches to Garbey's 80. That is a huge number.
Again, I think Toney should be boxing a little bit more on the outside. I know he's effective inside, but he's allowing Garbey to get a little bit of a free ride inside. Use his size a little bit, smother certain things. There to avoid certain things. Difference in speed on the outside allows Toney to sort of exploit things a little bit better. Even there, when he's stepping back and punching, you can see the hand speed of Toney, which is better than Garbey. Toney still has to be careful he doesn't get careless in there with Garbey. Garbey's beaten plenty of top fighters when he was an amateur.
Garbey does have a 9th round knockout. In January of this year, he took out Leonzo Barber in round 9. 7 knockouts past the 8th round.
See, right there was a good move by Garbey, but he didn't do anything off it. He feinted Toney. Toney went for it, took the bait a little bit, made his defensive move. Garbey should have done something off the bait. And I think either guy would work feints very well in this fight. I'm surprised neither guy has. They're both in there with guys who slip a lot of punches. Feint the guy a little bit, make him make a slip too soon, time him. See, Garbey is not busy enough. Nobody's done anything extreme in this round, but Toney's moving his hand.
Chopping right hand by Toney to the body, double left hook to the body by Toney after a right hand to the head by Garbey.
Garbey would be a little bit busier. He could have some good moments here because he could take advantage of Toney sometimes looking to place punches and therefore not being real busy. While he's looking to place, Garbey could be busy.
Guys not connecting as we hit the end of round 9. Taking the corner of James Toney and listening to Freddie Roach.
All right, nice deep breath, Jimmy. Blow it out. One more. There we go. Okay, JT, you gotta give me 3 minutes out here, son, okay? It's the last round, all right? This fight's too close, okay? All right? I'm not bullshitting you now. Let's go out there and work, okay? You got 3 minutes in you? Yes, sir. Hey, give it to me, okay? Bell to bell. Let's back this guy up and finish him, okay? If I want you to put him on the deck for me, JT, okay? Let's go to work now. JT, suck it up, buddy. All right, this fight's way too close. I want you to go out there and burn it. Burn it. Let's go. You hear me? All right, there you go, JT. Back him up. Keep the hook right hand together. Let him in. Keep backing him up. Keep following him those shots. Okay? I want you to stay on him. Don't let him off the hook.
Eddie, you and I don't have this fight that close. We have it pretty much in favor of Toney, but you can see the urgency by Freddie Roach because the fight is so subtle and so much inside stuff. The judges don't have access to our numbers. They could be a lot closer than maybe it looks.
Yeah, Freddie's a former fighter. Freddie knows the reality of boxing. A lot of these rounds that we felt, and I felt, that Toney won by the shorter punches, the more effective punches, they were close rounds. They could easily go the other way. Freddie knows how subjective the scoring can be in this business. He knows as well as we could have 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 7 rounds for Toney. It could also be the other way. Those are close rounds.
Good uppercut by Toney.
But I do think Toney lands the cleaner punches in most of these rounds.
Bob McCoy, Dan O'Neill, Vinny Lee are the 3 judges. They've judged every fight here tonight, and we applaud them because earlier they had the undefeated local kid, Jeff Frazier, against Tyrone Jackson. Frazier 5-0 with 5 knockouts. Jackson beat him even though he had a 3-4 record, and the judges had a unanimous decision for Jackson and lopsided, and we agreed. We don't always see that. It's a shame that we have to applaud good judging and honesty, but you have to.
Either fighter who's moving their hands in these spots there will separate themselves, give themselves a big edge. Right now, Toney's doing it. And that's why I had him winning a lot of those close rounds. The early rounds I didn't think were that close. I thought Toney took them.
Yeah, I mean, rounds 2, 3, 4, 5. He was outlanding Garbey by 20 punches a round. And throwing more, too.
Garbey is still not busy enough. Toney's doing a little bit more than Garbey. Just because he's making his hands move. Garbey right now is missing, leaving openings up because he's going to the head. You know a guy slick like Toney, you want to do 2 things. 3 things, actually. You want to go to the body so you don't miss the head. You want to put punches together so